Hi, I'm Kelly. Since Dad left soon after I was born, it's just always been me and my mom. And I realized quite early on that she wasn't quite normal. On my 3rd birthday, Mom suddenly started running around like crazy and pulling the curtains shut. Then she blew out the candles on my cake and pulled me under the table. They're coming, Kelly.
Who's coming, Mommy?
Aliens, of course. We giggled quietly as we ate cake in our hiding spot. I thought she was pretty cool to make up funny games for me. Once when I was 5, we were at the park when suddenly she pointed excitedly at a man on a bench. Oh my God! See that guy, Kelly? He's your dad! Go hug him! I was so happy that I ran and threw myself at him, but he freaked out when I called him Daddy and quickly left. Just then, Mom came running after me, screaming, "How many times have I told you not to talk to strangers? And you're hugging one? Are you stupid?"
But, Mom, you just told me to.
She dragged me home and I was so confused. What kind of a game was this? Well, things just got worse. Mom was getting crazier. When I was 14, I had a high fever once and she took me to the hospital. The doctor was about to give me an injection when suddenly, Mom went bonkers. Oh my God, are you trying to drug my daughter? I'm calling the cops right now, you kidnapper! And then she attacked him. He had to call for help and it took 3 people to calm her down. The doctor told me Mom might have a condition called schizophrenia, and I'd have to keep an eye on her as much as possible. I knew I couldn't look after her while I was at school. Since Mom had a teaching degree, I asked her to apply as a teacher at my school, and thankfully she was hired. But to be honest, I didn't want anyone to find out we were related. The next day at school, I heard someone on the megaphone, and I turned around in horror. "I said I love you, and you said thanks? That's all I get? I was in labor for 20 hours with you, you ungrateful jerk!" Who's that crazy lady talking to? No idea. Come on, let's start the game. I need to hear those words, Kelly. Everyone stared at me, and I wanted to disappear. Fine, I love you too, Mom. As everyone laughed, I felt really flustered, and I played my worst game ever. Later at home, I was so mad at Mom. How could you embarrass me like that in front of the whole school? And now everyone hates me for losing the game. Kelly, I don't know what you're saying. What did I even do? Are you embarrassed of me? Do you want me to quit? Fine, I'll quit. And she burst into tears. I sighed. No, Mom, I don't want you to quit. I'm sorry, okay? Sometimes I felt like my mom's mom, and it was exhausting. The next day, as I was having lunch alone, the meanest girl in class, Linda, came over. Wow, your mom's quite the freak show. My uncle runs a circus. Want me to ask him if he's got a spot for her? Shut up, Linda. Don't test me. Jeez, can't you take a joke? Looks like crazy runs in the family. I pushed aside my tray and attacked her. But suddenly, bang! Well, how about we get out of here and do something fun? I looked at his kind eyes and my heart raced a little. How had I not noticed he was so cute before? After that, we were hanging out together all the time. And soon enough, we started dating. One day, Jake and I were making out in the science lab when suddenly, Mom walked in on us. I was so sure she'd kill me, but instead, she smiled broadly. Oh, my baby girl has found such a cutie. I'm so happy for you. But anyone can walk in here, guys. The janitor's closet is a much better place. Wow, your mom's so cool. Let's go to the closet then. We'd only been there 5 minutes when Mom barged in with the principal. See, I told you they were up to something. Didn't your parents teach you any morals? Mom, what are you doing? Thanks to her, Jake and I were scolded by the principal in front of everyone and given a week-long suspension. But Jake had a party planned at his place the next night, and nothing was stopping me from going there. I sneaked out, and my jaw dropped at the size of his mansion. It also looked like he'd invited the whole school. But as I walked through the crowd looking for him, I saw something even more shocking. Jake was dancing with Linda, and they were looking deep into each other's eyes. What's going on here, Jake? He suddenly pushed Linda away. Kelly, you're here, babe. I didn't know if you'd be able to come. So what? You thought you'd just have some fun behind my back? What a jerk move. Keep it down, Kelly. You're embarrassing me. And we were just dancing. Why are you acting crazy like your mom? I can't believe you said that. We're done, Jake. Kelly, I didn't mean... But I didn't let him finish his sentence. As I walked out the gate, suddenly my shoe's heel broke. As I flung it aside angrily, I heard someone behind me. Whoa, are you okay? Can I help you? I turned to see a boy who was my senior at school. I'm Ron, Jake's older brother. I've seen you two around. You're his girlfriend, right? Not anymore. Ron listened quietly as I told him everything and offered to drop me home. On the way, we stopped for ice cream and sat on the car's bonnet, talking and laughing. He was really easy to be around. When he walked me to my door, he suddenly took my hand. I had a good time, Kelly. And this may seem fast, but I've been really wanting to do this all evening. And he suddenly prayed he might wake Mom, so I let him in. Listen, I'm really sorry. You're my girlfriend, and if Linda bothers you, I promise I won't go near her again. And I really shouldn't have said that about your mom. Please, give me another chance. He looked so sincere, and I just couldn't refuse. As we hugged and kissed, all I could think was, oh my God, I just kissed my boyfriend's brother an hour ago. The next day when I went to school, I saw Ron walking towards me, and my heart skipped a beat. Hey, Kelly, I was just thinking about... Just then, Jake turned up and slipped an arm around my waist. Oh, hey, bro. I see you finally met my girlfriend. I can't wait for you two to be buddies. Ron looked taken aback, but he quickly managed to smile and walk away. But one other person looked really unhappy to see me and Jake together. Linda. After that, Jake and I would hang out at his place often, and Ron always seemed to be around, which was driving me crazy. This one time, we were all playing video games, and Ron was sitting so close to me. He smelled so good. I could barely focus. Another afternoon, Jake and I went to their pool, and Ron had just stepped out of the water. I was so distracted when I saw him shirtless that I slipped. But Ron leapt forward and caught me just before I hit the ground, and I could swear there was electricity between us. Yeah, me neither, duh. I'm not into you, like at all. Let's do this. I pulled him towards me and kissed him. The crowd's noise was drowned out for me because I was totally lost in this magical moment. All night, I kept feeling guilty about these feelings for Ron, but it was about to get a lot worse. As I walked to my locker the next day, I saw posters of me and Ron kissing stuck all over the walls with cheater written over my face. I saw Ron across the hall, and just then, Jake walked in. Oh, Jake, I'm so sorry you had to find out this way. It's not like it's even a secret. They were kissing publicly. Seriously, your girlfriend has no shame. Jake turned to Linda. Why would you do this? I know it happened at the game. Ron told me. It's just a baseball game thing. Take down these posters. I thought a major disaster had been avoided. But suddenly, Mom turned up. Well, that's not the only time she's kissed that boy. Mom, you're confused. No, I'm not. This boy dropped you home one night and you two kissed. Wait, I have it in my notebook. Ah, yes. 21st August. The night of my party? You kissed my brother? And then you kissed me? And said we were all good again? Jake, let me explain. But before I knew it, he charged straight at Ron, and the two were wrestling on the floor. As two teachers rushed forward and pulled them apart, Jake shouted at Ron, You backstabber! I'm never, ever gonna forgive you! As the two were taken off to detention, I ran out of there crying. I felt terrible. I had broken Jake's heart, and worse, I ruined the brothers' relationship. I didn't go to school for a few days, and Mom kept asking me what had happened, but I couldn't even be mad at her. It was my fault, and I had to fix it. The next day, I went to see Jake. He looked surprised to see me, but not angry. Jake, I'm here to say that I'm really sorry. I know I've hurt you, but I never meant to, and neither did Ron. It was a stupid thing we did, but please, don't let it come between you guys. And then, Jake said he'd had time to think about everything, and he didn't even love me. He only felt competitive with his brother at first, but now he just wanted to end things himself. I know you're pretty, but you are crazy, just like your mom. And I am kinda into Linda. I gave him a hard slap on the face and left. The next day, I skipped off to school happily, looking for Ron everywhere. I finally found him, and I ran straight towards him and kissed him. Suddenly, we heard Mom speaking into the megaphone. You didn't even invite me to your wedding? You ungrateful jerk! Well, Ron and I are dating now, and it's the happiest I've ever been. We also took Mom to the doctor together and got her onto meds. And she's doing a little better. Hi, I'm Jane, and I'm from New York City. And this is my story of how being short, like really short, leads me to have a unique, crazy life. So, I had a really crazy mother who was mad about shopping. Shoes, clothes, makeup, perfumes. She stopped at nothing. One day, when I was 2 years old, she left me at the mall because her hands were full of bags. Where's Jane? What? You took Jane with you while shopping, right? Where is she? Oh, my hands were full of bags. I might have just left her at the mall. Plus, she's too tiny and short for her age, so it's easy to forget her. Short and ugly. I wonder who she looks like. My dad was furious. I already knew your shopping was a problem, but this is the last straw. So he took me and left Mom for good. For a while, Dad and I lived happily in a small apartment. But when I was 8, Dad discovered that he didn't have much time to live, so he decided to leave me with his first wife. He took me to her huge mansion, hugged me really tightly, and left, and I never saw Dad again. Dad's first wife didn't have any children of her own. She was always dressed in black and never smiled. She looked just like a creepy widow, so I started calling her the widow. But there was no denying that the widow was rich. Practically everything in her house was made of gold, even the spoons. On the first day of my new school, the widow sent me off to school in a limo. And at school, the widow had the butler distribute free ice cream for a month, so everyone would be nice to me. At first, it was crazy fun, but on my 10th birthday, even though I was surrounded by friends, I broke down into tears. I missed my parents so much. And then I noticed that no one brought any gifts for me. When I asked them why, some boy yelled, "Because we don't like you, you dwarf, and your breath smells bad." Suddenly, the widow showed up from behind him and put her hand on his mouth and dragged him away. What was going on? So, everyone in school liked me only because of the widow's money? One day, when my so-called best friend announced,
Hey girls, let's go get some ice cream. Jane's buying.
I lost my cool.
No, I'm not. You want it? Go get it yourself. I'm not your debit card. Look at this dwarf being so mean. It's not even your money, Jane. You're a charity case.
They all angrily marched away, and after that, I was a loner. Not only that, it was really annoying that I never got picked during gym class, and I really wanted to play basketball. So one day, in 6th grade, I ran straight onto the court, snatched the ball from another kid, and started dribbling it away. I was small, but fast. Just then, the substitute gym teacher came running onto the court, blowing his whistle furiously. And next thing I knew, he had picked me up and was carrying me away. "We have a kindergartner on the loose! Don't you know you could seriously get hurt, kid?" He just wouldn't listen and took me to the principal. He sure looked dumb when the principal told him I was in the 6th grade. But I was still banned from playing. It was too dangerous for me. One day, when I was in 9th grade, right before my exam was about to start, my teacher came up to me and put her hand on my forehead. "Jane, dear, your mom said you aren't feeling well today. You can go home and rest." "But I'm not sick." "Yes, you are, sweetie. You have a horrible fever." And the teacher just dragged me out of the room. After the exams, when I looked at my report card, I was shocked. I got an A+ on an exam I didn't even write, and all the rest as well. The widow then threw a fancy party where she literally distributed money. Worst of all, the party was full of my teachers. Ugh, talk about boring. The only person at the party my age was Andrew from school, the son of one of the teachers. I always had a crush on him, and now he was making his way to me. My heart began to beat like crazy. "I do, Andrew, I do." "How does it feel to take something you don't deserve, just because you have money?" "Huh? What do you mean?" "Oh, come on. Everyone in class already guessed your mother bought those fake grades for you. Aren't you ashamed? How could you have possibly topped when everyone knows I'm the smartest? I never asked her to do it. She's not even my mom. It's not my fault." "Yeah, your grades are better than your height. Dwarfs can't be the smartest." I stood there, shocked, and I decided it was time for me to tell the widow to change. But she said that she didn't mean any harm. She just wanted to help me get into some college, as it was my dad's last wish. I begged her to let me do it on my own. Eventually, she agreed. Sadly, that didn't pan out as I'd planned. I wasn't doing well in school at all. And without the widow's money, the teachers weren't so nice anymore. "Why is your handwriting so big when you're so short? Are you so bad at math because it's hard to understand things with your teeny tiny brain?" I flunked horribly and was held back a grade. My ex-best friend smirked and said, "Keep flunking and you'll finally reach a grade that suits your height. Can you just leave me alone?" "Oh, I heard wearing a pink hat while studying helps your brain work because the brain likes the color pink. I tried it, but it didn't work. Guess I'm already a genius." Or that you don't have a brain. As I left for home that day, with angry tears in my eyes, I ran straight into someone. Andrew. "Hey, what's wrong? Why are you crying?" "Listen, just back off. I have enough troubles without you." But Andrew did not back off. The next few days, he really started chasing me all over school. There was just no escaping him. Wherever I went, there he was. "What's wrong with you? I'm trying to study. Stop stalking me." I'm just worried about you. Let me help you with your grades." "Why? I appreciate it, but you really don't have to feel sorry for me." "I don't feel sorry. I understand you want to rely on yourself, and I respect that. I'm just offering to help. and also trying to make up for being a jerk. Well, I knew he was a math whiz. If anyone could help me, it was him. From that day onwards, every night, he snuck in from my window to help me study. But he was so distractingly cute and funny. We were becoming super close. The night before the exam, the door flew open and the widow barged in. She started yelling at me. "Boys ruin everything. This is probably why you don't get good grades. You're so distracted all the time." Then she dragged him to the window and told him to leave the way he came. "He isn't my boyfriend. He's my private teacher. He's helping me with math." But she wasn't listening. So Andrew climbed down the tree outside the window and left. The next day, I passed the exam and was over the moon. I ran to him and threw my arms around him. I did it! I passed the math exam on my own! Then, before I knew what I was doing, I kissed him. And what an utterly stupid thing to do that was! Because the minute our lips touched, he froze. I was so embarrassed. I let him go and stepped back. I'm so sorry.
Jane, I had no idea that you felt this way about me. I'm sorry if I gave you the wrong idea, but I was just looking out for you. You know, like a little sister. You're just not my type.
Wait, what? I never felt so humiliated in my entire life. Without another word, I just turned around and fled. And that was my real first heartbreak. I refused to go down for dinner that evening and shut myself up in my room. A little later, the widow knocked and came in.
"Do you want to tell me what's wrong, Jane?"
I burst into tears and told her everything. "You were right. Boys ruin everything. From now on, I'm just going to focus on me. I'm going to get a university scholarship and leave this stupid place." And for the first time ever, the widow hugged me. It was really awkward, but also kind of nice.
"I'll send you to any university you want. You just focus on studying really hard."
And that's what I did. I really focused on my lessons. And at home, the widow started to help me out too. She also had her chef make me really healthy food and gave me multivitamins regularly. She helped me out with all my college applications, and for the first time since Dad, I felt like I did have a parent. As I was about to graduate high school, our student counselor called me one day to her office to give me some really amazing news. "You got into your dream university, Jane! Congratulations!" I squealed in excitement and hugged her. In my excitement, I knocked over my bag, and my bottle of vitamins fell out. Just then, the counselor picked up one of the pills, looking confused.
"Jane, why are you eating these?"
"Oh, they're just multivitamins."
"No, they're not, Jane. These pills are given to kids with ADHD to improve focus. No one should be taking these unless a doctor prescribes them."
I couldn't believe it. Why would the widow do this? I rushed home and barged straight into her room, throwing the pills on her bed. "Why have you been lying to me that these are vitamins? Why are you feeding me pills I don't need? Are you trying to poison me?" The widow looked stunned. Then she said,
"Jane, just let me explain.
"I was only trying to help you get better." "Oh, so you thought I'm so dumb that I needed pills to make me smarter?" "I only want what's best for you, Jane. That's all I ever wanted." And then I said the words I would regret for the rest of my life. "Well, in case you forgot, let me remind you, you're not my mom. You're just a pathetic old widow, and you don't deserve to have kids." And with that, I stormed off to my room. I didn't speak a word to her for the next few weeks, and then I left for university. I felt bad for the things I'd said, but I was too angry to take them back. I was doing really well at university. I met a wonderful guy, Dave. He was the only person I'd ever met who didn't treat me like I was dumb, and he never made me feel little in any way. One day, while we were on a date, I got a terrible phone call. It was a doctor from some hospital saying the widow had been found unconscious in her home and was really unwell. Dave drove me straight to the hospital, and when I went to her, it broke my heart seeing her so pale and weak. I sat down by her and started to cry. "Please, please be okay. I'm sorry. I didn't mean those awful things I said. I love you. You're my mom." Just then, her eyes fluttered open. She gave me a weak smile. "Jane, I'm so glad you're here, dear. I'm sorry, too. You were always so tiny. I became really overprotective. I see now that you didn't need that at all." I moved back with Mom to take care of her, and soon she fully recovered. I graduated with honors from university, and I was so happy she could be there. After university, Dave and I got married and had 2 beautiful kids together. We named our son after my dad, and our little girl after the widow, her godmother.